When do we talk about the fucking shows and movies? Thanks for the F shot.
I don't know, but these arms are feeling chewed up.
Show me what you got.
We'll drink it if you say.
Alright everybody, pull up a chair. Why don't you come get to know us? We're just a bunch of nice guys. Just
relax.
regular Joe. And today we want you to know a little bit more about us. So we're gonna list out 10 movies that we think really help you know who we are. They're not our 10 favorite movies, but they're 10 movies that if you saw this list, you'd get a good idea of what it's like to hang out with, you know, the MussKeg or the CountryBoy 9 or LewisLightning.
Yeah. Get deep into our psyche. You know who these people are.
Yeah. So with me here today, even though I gave their names away already, might as well let them introduce themselves.
Heavens to Betsy! My name is CountryBoy.
My stick.
Okay, the Snagglepuss there.
No, I thought it was like the Mad Hatter.
That's I was trying to that. That's what I was doing.
I was gonna say, at least I didn't get my nose bit off by a Saigon whore. I'm LewisLightning.
Dirty work.
Awesome. Okay, well, I don't want to go first on this one.
Regular Joe.
And we're just so they know, we're gonna go one person, all 10.
Yeah.
Let's go LewisLightning first, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Oh wait, shots.
Oh, shit.
No, we said me first. No, okay.
Shots.
Yes.
Delicious. Oh man. Hunch
A little
punch.
bit of sting. I like the flavor, but the sting I could do without. So, let's start off with one of my favorite movies. Like, I don't know if it's my favorite of all of them, but one of them. Princess Bride, I've mentioned it before. I find it, you can't define it by genre. It's got so much different things. A lot of great quotes you can take from it. It's got a little bit of everything for everyone. And whatever the age group, you're going to love it. For me, it's just like, I like the indefinable quality of it. And it's just so fun. You have fun with the movie, regardless if you're in it for the action or the love story or whatever. You're going to have fun.
Inconceivable!
My next one I have on my list, I find my comedy can be a little bit outside of the norm, and I think like to best describe that would be Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
That's great.
I love that. Like it's almost like sketch comedy.
Just but a scratch.
Yeah, it's sketch comedy. It's British comedy, and like a lot of people you show it to, they will not get it.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, like I can sit there and I can watch it. I get it. Whatever. I appreciate it. It's not the norm, but it's hilarious.
Don't you see the bones?
Yeah. Something a little bit more serious, which I like a movie that I can sit and I can really appreciate, and it gets you a little deeper, that you're going to be like, wow, that actually is so crazy, I got to watch this movie again. Because when I watched The Prestige, immediately after I finished it, I was like, okay, put it back in the DVD player, let's go back.
Can you find the hints that are later throughout?
You watch it a second time and you're like, this is a totally different movie now that I know the ending.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's so great. Like,
I've only seen it once, but I liked it.
I love
you
you.
know,
Not today. Not today.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
Christopher Nolan movies are always great, but this is the one that stuck with me, and I love it. If you want to know me, watch this movie. I also like the Magician thing. Like, I saw that Magician movie with Steve Carell, and I was like...
yeah.
Burt Runderstorm.
Yeah,
Burt Runderstorm, yeah.
It's not great.
No, it's not. No, I mean, Jim Carrey's pretty
It's actually, it was a flop, but it was actually, I thought it was not bad.
is
But
pretty
yeah,
funny.
I like, you know, just because it was a movie about magicians, I was like, okay,
The
I'll
Illusionist
get on.
came out the same,
I
same
did
year.
not.
I always got them
Oh.
confused.
I know a lot of
You should
people
check it
do.
out. It's pretty good. And I know you like Ed Norton.
Is it serious?
Yeah, it's serious.
Okay. You know, if you watch this show, you know that I talk a lot about the comic book movies. I am the comic book guy, I think, of the three of us.
So we call him.
Yeah, the Captain America, the Winter Soldier. I think if you're going to pick any comic book movie, that's the one that's like, this is what I like. This is what I like about comics. This is what I like about those kind of movies. It's not overly, like, there's comedy in it, like the whole On Your Left part and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's more subtle comedy. Yeah,
but it's a serious movie, and it can bring up a lot of different themes of government overreach and stuff like that. And how do you know?
It didn't have as much like the superpowers in it, you know. It was
No,
like,
yeah.
No, it didn't. It was more of an espionage movie.
But to me, like, that's not what I like about superhero movies. I like the questions about morals and stuff. Which, if you're gonna watch one, I would probably pick that one.
Yeah.
I like a lot of animated stuff too, right? So I had to throw something in there, and I like stories that make you think. Like whether you're a child or an adult, you can appreciate it. I'm gonna go with the Iron Giant. I know my mom, like when I talk about animated movies, she's like, "Oh, I love that film. It's so good." Like
Hogarth.
you can have fun with it if you're a kid or an adult.
No, it's great.
But it's a great story of lessons about like seeing things for more than what they are and stuff like that. But like as an animated movies, I think it's a medium that can go beyond like children's fare, which a lot of people think. So if, like me, even as an adult, I want you to see that. Like I could sit there and I could watch a child's movie. I'm not sitting there watching it because
I wouldn't even call it a child's movie though. It's a great movie
a lot of people do think that.
Yeah, okay. Because animated, people think that with animated movies.
Yeah, it's like if you know me, you know that I'll watch animated stuff, but not just because it's like kids fare. I watch it because like there's something bigger behind it, I guess.
I love when they bring emotion into any type of movie.
Well,
That's
I could have picked something like Toy Story. Toy Story has often got like a deeper meaning behind it.
Yeah.
But Iron Giant, I think, is the one. If you're gonna pick one, that's the one I would go with. So I like some stuff outside the box as well. Stuff that's probably not gonna tickle a lot of people's fancies. That's gonna be like, that's too weird for me. But Shin Godzilla.
Oh yeah.
I like that. It's just Japanese subtitles, which turns off a lot of people in the first place. But like,
as a Godzilla fan, is that like your favorite iteration of Godzilla?
I mean, I'm gonna watch the old ones because I've watched some of them and I kind of liked them as a kid.
I guess so far from what you've witnessed or
as far as I can remember, when I watch some of these again, like the older ones, maybe I'll change my mind. But at the moment, I would say yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and it's just so weird because like it's not Godzilla as you know him. It starts off as like a.
He's like a weird fish thing.
He's got no front legs. He's just got back legs, kind of like a slug on land.
Yeah,
it's so weird. His blood is like acid and stuff. It's weird.
Yeah, he's like pumping out this weird bloody.
Strange,
acid.
but yeah, like if I'll watch that stuff. If you want to get to know me, that's a movie that's like, wow, that's not anything that I'm used to.
Yeah. Definitely not like the American Godzilla.
Yeah, but I do like some stuff that is, within the realm of this is kind of generic schlock, and that's Predator 2. I know the Predator movies, people often go to the first one. I thought it's a little bit too slow and straightforward, whereas like in the city, suddenly it's like they have detectives working on this, trying to figure out like a murder mystery.
You just like Danny Glover more than Arnold.
Yeah.
I just like a soldier. I mean, you can have so many soldier movies. I just find
I know. I just like that. I think it was more even playing ground.
I like the jungle atmosphere personally.
Yeah, that's what I like better.
So that's for me. I always like throwing in something you don't expect. That's why I probably go with like Temple of Doom a lot of times because it's like you don't see that so often. It's not like the.
And they haven't done the city scene again in a Predator movie.
Well,
really. It's
maybe because no one seemed to like it, but I did. I liked it.
Honestly, none of those are my favorite Predator.
Did you watch Prey? They did a callback to it in Prey.
No, I haven't watched Prey yet, but I do want to watch it.
No spoilers, but yeah, they do a callback to it.
When I went to my trip recently, I wanted to watch it. It wasn't on the plane.
It's kind of cool. I was like, oh shit.
It's actually my favorite of the Predator movies.
Prey's great. Yeah.
It's like a comfort movie, something that I could throw down and watch with the boys or anyone. The Rundown, I like that. That's my like hungover movie.
That's the best rock movie.
Yeah, hungover non-comedy, anyways. Movie.
But with comedy,
there is comedy.
I mean, you got Stifler.
My hungover action movie, let's say.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I like that. Like great characters with Beck and I can't remember his.
A hangover movie's key.
Sean William Scott. I don't remember his character's name, but great.
Yeah. Rosario Dawson and
Christopher Walken. I had to mention him.
Yeah, I can't not mention him.
Something more serious, like I do like the artsy dramas, and I like, if you know me, I like wrestling. So this shouldn't be a surprise that I picked The Wrestler, Mickey Rourke,
movie.
And it's very serious. Unlike a lot of the other stuff I have on my list so far, it's a serious movie.
It's not a feel-good movie.
Well,
not really.
He won that match and he was fine. That's how it ended. Okay.
Yeah.
Starts to connect with his daughter, but then.
It's a slice of life for someone who's in that field, I guess.
Yeah, they did a really good job, I think, of portraying what that life actually is.
I remember, like, when I went to see that movie, I heard about it. It was great things and everything, and I actually had to go to like Princess Theater downtown
here.
Yeah,
we saw Princess Theater. Yeah,
because you couldn't see it in like the big theaters, and I was like, wow, this is a great film.
Like, I think it got some like He got some.
Mickey
not,
was-
not
Mickey-
Oscar.
He was
awards.
nominated.
He was
Golden
nominated.
Globes, I think it might have won some Golden Globes, or maybe
BAFTA?
half of
He
them.
was.
Maybe.
It was him or Sean Penn that was going to win the best actor that year. I think it should
Sean
have
Penn
been
with
him.
Milk. Yeah.
I think it should have been him personally, but Penn
Marissa
was
Tomei.
great.
Marissa Tomei.
I know Ric Flair said he watched it and it made him cry, but he cries so much it just doesn't.
He's just.
He just thought it was about him. That's why.
And if I'm gonna put like generic schlock hungover comedy, it's gonna be Almost Heroes. I mean, I know I probably stole it from someone.
No,
No.
I never
You
think
know
that
what?
one.
I don't think you stepped on any of my movies.
Okay.
I don't think you did.
Do you,
Almost
okay,
Heroes.
I'll get through Almost Heroes first, but Almost Heroes like a great hungover movie. We talk about it tons on this channel.
Yeah.
Goofy comedy with Chris Farley and Matthew Perry.
Not appreciated.
Underrated.
Underrated.
Yeah, everybody
Actually-
focuses because it came later for him,
Yeah.
and everybody's focused so much on like Tommy Boy and everything.
Yeah.
But
And a lot of people shit on it, but I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's great. Like, it's fun if you.
I miss those types of comedies. They don't really do them anymore nowadays.
I mean, and just quickly, do you guys think that would be what I've mentioned? Is that decent enough? You
Yeah,
think-
yeah.
Knowing you, that's perfect picks
Okay.
because I do know that these are movies that you've talked about
Yeah.
on end with
I
us.
would say so. Yeah.
That's,
Yeah, absolutely.
That's 10 for me.
Also, you
Hopefully, I
go,
didn't eat up
Me?
too much time.
Okay, yeah. In no particular order,
Yeah.
and I know I've mentioned a lot of these
Sean. Maybe in
movies
previous videos.
in other videos. Yeah, you guys, if you know me, then they won't be a surprise. But when it comes to like CG animation movies, one of my favorites, my favorite CG animated movie is The Incredibles. I mean, I dressed up as him in one of our Halloween episodes. I'm a big fan of family, and that is a movie about family. It's about family dynamic in a superhero world, basically. And I love what they did with that. It's the animation, the action in it is fantastic. And Brad Bird directed it, same guy that did Iron Giant, so it's got a lot of heart to it, just like Iron Giant does as well.
I hate family, so it's not.
Yeah, so that. And then why does my list keep going away? Con Air, if you know me. I mean, basically enough said. Con Air is the best movie ever made. So if you know me, I love action movies. It's probably action and sci-fi are like tied for me, and there's no sci-fi in this movie, but I love the action in the movie, and I love how badass
Great characters.
Nicolas Cage is, and all the
villains.
freaking
The villains.
yeah, all the fucking plethora of rogues gallery in there is just awesome.
A little bit of cheese. You like that little bit of cheese in there?
Tiny bit of cheese, yeah, for sure. It's a
Like that
90s.
accent,
It's a
that
90s
southern
movie.
accent?
It's gonna have it with a 90s movie.
That
You're gonna-
southern accent.
fantastic accent. You can't beat that. He's definitely from the south, from Alabama. And then, like I said, I love me some sci-fi and Men in Black. I love Men in Black, mostly because I love creatures. And if like, I think I said this in another video where if I ever had another job, creature design is something that I would love to do. Like maybe special effects special effects or makeup, special effects makeup.
Props,
I would love
artists.
to do that, and they had that a lot. There's a lot of practical effects in Men in Black, and there's a lot of CG in Men in Black, and the comedy too. Like I love the mixture of Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith. Like, that's a great combo. Those two worked off each other so well. Love that movie, and like I said, sci-fi to the T. That is.
I'm not surprised,
one
but
of the
because it seems in the real house, but you just don't mention as much as the other ones you already.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It's one of my favorites. And again, if you know me, I love time travel, and Back to the Future is probably my favorite trilogy, I'll say. But Back to the Future 2 is probably the one that I like the most because I think I saw it the least growing up too, surprisingly. Because I love the fact that they go forward in time, 2015, that was the future. They had flying cars and all that.
It is neat like
this
that.
is gonna happen. This is totally the
I
future.
remember that.
I believe it. And then they went back to the 85 when Biff was in charge and he was basically Donald Trump and destroyed Hill Valley. It was just dystopian. And then they went back to 1955 again and they rehashed some of the stuff from the first movie, but you're like behind the scenes, which is really cool. So I love that. I love it so much. And it again,
The whole like sports betting book thing when he's
yeah,
trying to
exactly.
Get it from
The Sports Almanac.
Sports Almanac, yeah.
Fantastic. I love that. It's got the sci-fi. It's got time travel. That is me. That is like one of my favorite movies. And then we're gonna go with Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. is my favorite of the Indiana Jones movies. I know I mentioned this before in other videos, but him, Harrison Ford with Sean Connery, again, it's the family dynamic. You know, they're two different people, but they have similar, ideals. I guess, they both want to preserve, I guess, history is what it is.
Different approach.
But different approaches, yeah. One of them more is more laid back and just kind of sits in the wings and kind of analyzes history, whereas the other one wants to become like a part of history and bring history into the museums and stuff like that. And I love the family dynamic, and set in just before World War II, he meets Hitler in there. Oh man, beating the shit out of Nazis. Who doesn't love beating Nazis? Yeah.
I've never done it. I've never done it.
I beat
no
ticket all the time. No ticket. Yeah, everybody flashes their card. Yeah. And then I'll go Spider-Man 2. So I love Marvel movies. I love comic book movies. I'll say I like even like DC movies and everything. But my favorite of all the movies I saw it 3 times in theater with Spider-Man 2. So obviously I love Spider-Man, and it's got Doc Ock. The first time we saw Doc Ock in live action, Alfred Molina nailed it. And then you see the super heroic moment with him stopping the train. It's just. It's for me, even if going back, I know it's more cheesy than the movies nowadays are. Absolutely, I know, and it's Sam Raimi. Sam Raimi does that. He brings some cheeseball into his movies, but it doesn't matter to me. I still love that movie for what it is. It is still fantastic. It stands up today as my favorite of the superhero movies. Mm-hmm. And then we'll go with King Kong. King Kong. I'm gonna say the 2005 version specifically.
The Jack Black one.
Yeah, Jack Black one. I could easily say the 1933 version, like the original black and white one, because the 2005 version is basically just a rehash of that. But I like this one because it has one of my favorite action scenes of all time, with King Kong fighting 3 different like T-Rex or V-Rex as they're called in the movie, and holding Ann Darrow and keeping her from harm. And it's just that action scene itself is just fantastic. Plus, again, it does everything that the first movie did, but with like updated graphics, and it's I love apes. I love gorillas. If that's one thing you want to know about me, gorillas. I'm a big guy.
He's a big gorilla.
I'm a big gorilla guy, And then I love me some TMNT, Ninja Turtles. So my favorite Ninja Turtles movies is Ninja Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze. I know people hate that movie because it wasn't as serious as the first one. Or maybe they're not hate it, but they don't like it as much as the first one. Yes. The first one is more serious. It draws from the comic books a lot more. Whereas the second one, I was a kid, I liked the cartoon, and it was more comedic.
Tokar and Razor.
It was more fun.
Yeah.
And Tokar and Razor are basically supposed to be, Bebop and Rocksteady, but they couldn't get them because Eastman and Laird wouldn't allow them.
It's weird.
So, and they've actually had versions of Tokar and Razor in the later on iterations too, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, I love that movie. It's got practical effects. It's got Jim Henson. I love me some Jim Henson with the animatronics and puppetry and the martial arts and the comedy. I love that movie.
I hate how they took out like all the weapons. They never use the weapons. They use like sausage legs or something. It's like, oh my god.
I know, but that never ever bugged me.
And the sound effect.
Oh yeah.
But
it's also got the guy from Surf Ninjas in it too.
Actually, the sound effects aren't as prevalent as you might think in the movie.
I noticed them as an adult.
They got the ninja rap too. You can't beat that. Damn right. And then
Kevin Nash as well.
Comedies, I could go with my favorite comedy of all time, which is Dumb and Dumber. But that one, everybody loves Dumb and Dumber. I don't want to even mention. I'm going to go with one that, if you knew me, then you knew this would be one of my favorite comedies, which is Saving Silverman, which I have brought up again. I want a sequel to that movie. I brought it up. Jack Black, Steve Zahn, Jason Biggs, Amanda Peet, just hilarious. It's kind of like your Chris Farley one, Almost Heroes, where it's just like zany, stupid comedy.
Very funny.
Yeah, it's all slapstick stuff going on, and just dumb. I want more of that to come back.
From beginning to end.
Yeah, exactly. I freaking love that movie. Like all of a sudden, Jack Black realizes he's gay, just because this therapist told him he was. And he falls in love with the coach because he's gay too. Like, what the fuck? Makes no sense.
We ate her.
We ate her. Alive.
Alive.
So then, after that, again, if you know me, Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Roger Rabbit.
Roger Rabbit.
Sounds like you're from Fargo.
Is just the perfect blend again of live action and cartoon. It's just they did such a fantastic job, and you know they threw Christopher Lloyd in there, who's from Back to the Future. He's the villain in the movie. He's creepy as hell. He dips that shoe in the dip. Yeah. So it's got creepy moments. It's got hilarious moments.
You spoiled it for him.
Probably. These guys never seen.
I think it'll be okay.
But yeah, it's got so much going for it. It's got a kind of a love story, but it's got a detective story going on, and it's a time period piece as well too. So much going for it, and yeah, that's why it's in my top 10 get to know me movies.
That's why I like the detective noir part, which you wouldn't expect, but it's in there. It's definitely in there.
And more adult than you would think as a cartoon with freaking Disney characters in it.
Nice. I know you got Raphael from the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I did. I just want to throw Raphael in there.
Okay. Was that 10?
That was 10,
okay,
yeah.
Nice.
I do have an honorable mention, but I'll wait until if we do those at all.
That's one thing I think we can all agree on is there's so many movies that I wanted to have on this list, but I had to cut some out because I wanted to get like varieties of genre and everything.
And I also didn't want to be like, I know you might do this on your list, so I'm going to kind of maybe not do that sort of thing on mine.
Okay, well, let's finish off with the worst or best for last. I do like a variety, and so I'll start off with one of my favorite movies. And a lot of times when I thought about these movies, I thought, what are movies that anytime it comes on the screen, I'm going to watch it from beginning to end? And The Green Mile is one of the ones that I love that movie. I can watch it all the time. I
was just thinking in my head what it was, and it was one of two movies, and it was one of those movies.
And The Green Mile, Tom Hanks, great characters in it, a great, fun, nice story, a heartwarming story, sad story. I like the setting, the prison block and everything like that.
Mostly sad,
the prison inmates that you meet along the way.
Yeah.
A little bit of, mystical stuff to it, which isn't the big thing for me, but it was such a good movie. I can watch that movie anytime it's on.
Yeah, love it.
And the other one you're probably thinking is Apollo 13.
No, it wasn't.
Okay, well, Apollo 13, again, another movie, anytime it's on, I can watch it. Another Tom Hanks one, I know.
Tom Hanks one?
No, thankfully not.
Big,
but it's different, right? And like, I love the problem solving.
Philadelphia.
I love the problem solving of Apollo 13.
Joe versus Volcano.
Yeah. We got me. Sorry.
I love the problem solving of Apollo 13, and like, it's a true story, and again, a great cast. Another great cast.
Clint Howard.
Well,
it's a movie.
Ron Howard.
I haven't seen it in
directed,
years, but I remember loving it, and I want to rewatch it again because I know I love that movie.
It's got some really good like shots in it too.
Yeah, so, absolutely. Yeah. Even Bryce Dallas Howard copied her dad's shots for some of the things that she directed in The Mandalorian.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that? Yeah.
Changing beats here a little bit. I think one of the greatest mindfuck movies of all time, and also subsequently a great action movie with great characters. Again, another movie with fantastic characters, Inception. I love Inception. I came away from watching that movie thinking, holy crap, reading into it, the theories and everything like that. Some people argue one of the greatest cliffhanger endings of all time. Did the top stop spinning? Did it not? Is he still in a dream? But it's got some real cool action sequences as you go down too, and they're varied, right?
Yeah.
You got your standard, everybody getting chased through the streets in like a car chase kind of thing. You've got this trippy Matrix style fight in a hallway. You've got
favorite scene for me.
You've got the whole like James Bond style, it's like ski hill, like snow mountain. What do you call it? Fortress that they got to break into.
Yeah.
And just so good, and all the characters with their different roles and everything like that. I love that movie.
I love the concept of it. I wish they would do more movies like set in this world.
And the visuals too, like when the world
like
bangs on
folding out itself, sort of thing,
yeah.
or even when the train like is coming down like the main street or whatever it is. Yeah, so cool.
And then I mean I'm a funny guy. I don't have. This is the only true comedy I put on this list. And it's not even my favorite comedy of all time. But I mentioned it earlier, and I think it had a really big impact on me, was American Pie.
Oh, yeah.
just for the time of my life and everything, and like we've talked about before, I thought it launched a lot of good things. And granted, a lot of the times when I was looking at picking for this list, there was ones I'm like, well, I like this whole trilogy or all these movies.
Yeah.
So if I pick one at least, I'm getting some of that.
That one encapsulates what the rest of them do anyways.
Mm-hmm. Like, I thought about, I can talk about it in honorable mentions, but... and then you mentioned, I actually did an edit on mine just as you were doing yours, because you mentioned family, and actually that's a big thing for me, right? We're family guys. And so I thought back to like, what movie with my kids do I think I'll remember watching the most or enjoying the most with them or them, and it's actually
Trolls.
No, it's
Trolls
actually
World Tour.
No,
Sorry.
it's actually Tangled.
Okay.
That was the first one that my eldest really hooked onto, and the other one did as well. And actually, it's a really good movie with some funny stories to it, some good characters. So there's lots of ones I thought about, but Tangled kind of jumped out at me for that. And then I like comic book movies just as much as you guys. Well, maybe not just as much, but I like them a lot. And so I went with my favorite, which is Captain America: Civil War. I thought about other ones, but the fact of the matter is it has a lot of... I like that you get the group of all the superheroes there together.
Yeah, almost every superhero that came before this movie in the Marvel Universe. Not Thor, not Hulk, but everybody.
Yeah. Like, there's other ones that were funny and stuff, but this one had, I think, a really good balance of everything, and emotion, too.
We'll watch our review for that one.
Mm-hmm. And then I'm going to go... I'm a zany guy sometimes, and I like action. So there's a movie called Fifth Element that I love. I can watch that one another movie. I can watch it anytime it's on. It's got a great mixture of comedy, action.
Another underrated one that just should have been bigger.
Great visuals. I'll also go with the Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings. Pirates of the Caribbean, Lord of the Rings. There's lots of trilogies I like, but I picked Lord of the Rings because it's my favorite. And I picked specifically the Two Tower because I generally like the second movie in a lot of trilogies.
I agree. That's my favorite.
Because you have stuff to build off from last time. You have stuff to look forward to.
Gandalf the White shows up.
Yeah. Two Toweries. And it's got the 3 stories.
Should we pause? Hey everybody, sorry about the interruption. Our video got cut short. Had some technical difficulties.
There is more to it. We're going to work on fixing it. Be back with you in a second.
But in case we don't get back to you, you can catch us all on Wasted Opinions on Twitch or on YouTube. And you can catch me on Twitch, Twitter, and PSN as CountryBoy_9.
I am the LewisLightning on Twitch.
I'm MussKeg on Twitter, PSN, and Twitch.
Thanks for tuning in. Please subscribe below.
Get back to the video now.
Yeah, so like there's Pirates of the Caribbean, I like the second movie. Lord of the Rings, I like the second movie the most. It's got that balance, and there's the 3 storylines in it.
Yeah.
Gimli and Aragorn and Legolas, which is probably my favorite of the ones, and it's
the Ents, yeah.
Yeah, it's the Ents, yeah.
Ents is my favorite part.
Yeah. So, another movie that you might not think, but I just think that this is, and I love sports, so a good sports movie gets me. And this is, again, I like to think of myself sometimes as a little bit of I follow the Oscar stuff, anyways, I fancy myself, but
more than 3 of us, the 2 of us, I think.
And Moneyball with Brad Pitt is probably one of my favorite sports movies, and most people don't even think of it as a sports movie because it's about a general manager. But
no, I would definitely think
I've always enjoyed the behind scenes of sports almost more than even the actual sport itself. Yeah. Like when I was a kid, my dream job would have been a GM of a hockey team or something, right? So making trades, making these things, and Brad Pitt does such a great job in that movie, and Jonah Hill's great. And Philip Seymour Hoffman did a great job.
Stellar.
And it's beautifully shot. The lighting in that movie is great.
Yeah.
They do a great job on that. So, Moneyball.
Agreed.
And then my number 10 one, I just felt like I needed another true action movie. And it's not going to be The Rock. It's my favorite action movie probably of all time is Speed.
Really?
Lewis laughs.
Oh, he hasn't brought it up.
Really?
Time was going because the thing fell off.
He hasn't brought it up before, really.
No. Speed, though. I remember watching it as a kid. I mean, one funny story. I remember my parents got it for my sister as like a Christmas present, a stocking stuffer or something like that. And my dad was working night shifts, and he woke up from his day shift sleep and he wanted to watch the movie, so he unwrapped it and watched the movie, and then rewound it, and they wrapped it up. But I think that's a great movie. It's Keanu Reeves doing a fantastic job. It's got the whole elevator sequence at the start. It's got the train thing to finish at the end. Really
intense moments.
Sandra Bullock's hot in it. So I thought that was a really good. So that's probably my favorite action movie of all time. So a little bit of a snippet, but I'm sure we've got some other ones we'd want to maybe mention as like.
Yeah, we could toss in a couple more.
Go ahead, Lou.
I don't have nothing.
Nothing?
I got 10 and that was it.
That's smart.
That's all I wanted. That's all I could think of for me. You don't know me. Any other movie, that's not me.
I kept deleting movies off, so I didn't do that.
So I didn't do like a plain like animated movie, like a regular Disney. So that's what I should do. Aladdin.
By pencil.
Yeah, by pencil drawn sort of thing. Aladdin would be my pick for that. I love the genie. I love the Sultan, Aladdin, Iago. Everybody in that movie is just great. Just fantastic. It's my favorite of the Disney animated movies. I'd say. And then I'll say one more just to toss in there. Practical effects. I mentioned in another video. Labyrinth. Just practical effects, puppetry. Boom. Love that movie. Creepy as hell. But just fun.
I'll throw in a couple. Anchorman's what I've always said has been my favorite comedy of all time. It just didn't have that spot to me like American Pie does.
Yeah.
Another one, Silence of the Lambs, is a great movie, but I don't think it speaks to me too much. It's just, that you know of. So that would be another one. And then just again another comedy, Superbad, is up there too. So.
Yeah. I can see that being one of them. Yeah.
I have a lot of comedies that I like, but I just didn't want to have that on my list.
I'm a little disappointed that none of us picked originally a Broken Lizard movie.
Yeah, I thought you were maybe going to pick Superbad.
That wouldn't define me though. I like Broken Lizard movies, especially between us. Yeah. But it's not something that I'm like.
It's not.
You're not going to know me by watching. It's not.
It's adjacent to what I like.
Yeah, you know me in university from that.
Yeah.
I would probably pick like an Adam Sandler movie before I pick one of them.
And that's why I went with Almost Heroes.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, now you know us. So
watch those movies.
Yeah, watch all of them, and you'll know in exact order that we listed. And all of us one at a time, so you get a really good scope.
Get one of those sensory deprivation pods and just sit there and watch the movies, and you'll be us.
This is LewisLightning. I can feel it.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Where can we find everybody to find more of us?
I'm the LewisLightning on Twitch, always playing something great, so check it out.
I'm CountryBoy_9 on Twitch, Twitter, PSN, and on YouTube, where I'm opening up this Alistair Smythe and Peter Parker figure. Check it out.
Ooh, it's a good one. I hope it's chairs in there. And I'm...
No, he's the Spider Slayer.
Oh,
so.
I'm on Twitch, Twitter, and PSN as MussKeg. I don't stream as much as I should, but...
Yeah,
who has the time? Too busy watching Tangled all the time.
Yeah, watching Tangled kids, damn it.
Anyways, it's definitely not Trolls World.
Hope we didn't scare you away. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Your day?
Go with the rhyme.
Yeah.
Go for the rhyme.
Yeah.
I rhymed.
Yeah, hope we didn't scare you away.
Yeah,
day.
Hope we didn't scare you away. Enjoy the rest of your day.
What is that?
It's 0.
So, but is it still recording though?
Well, it says it is, but I think it's because it's 0 minutes, and we're just going to the seconds now.
I love man.
Oh, really?
I fancy myself